Hello and welcome to One Chic Mama TV. I'm your host, Mary Michelle of OneChicMama.com, and I want to welcome you to One Chic Mama TV, the weekly show dedicated to empowering you through personal style. I tell you what you need to know to build a wardrobe that works for you and show you how to express your true style. I want to help you dress like you mean it. For more style tips and secrets, I want to invite you to go to my website at onechicmama.com and sign up where you can receive my free report, Top 5 Secrets for Creating Your Signature Style. Now, today I have a wonderful guest to share with you, and I'm so excited to talk with her. We're going to be talking about style, how to look your best, what your color essence is, how to discover your best colors, and all sorts of other good stuff. But before I introduce her, I have a great quote for you today. And my quote comes from Laura Mercier, she's a makeup artist. You might be familiar with her brand of makeup. But the quote is one of my favorites. And it's, "What makes you unique makes you beautiful." And in my humble experience, I've found that to be true. So think about, what were you picked on for as a child? What did people call you out for? Your curly hair, your freckles? Mine were my high cheekbones. And it's funny, people used to call me chipmunk cheeks, all sorts of things. Now, people tell me, "Oh, you have the most fabulous cheekbones." And I just think, you have no idea what I've had to endure with these cheekbones. So think about what it is that makes you unique and makes you stand out, and reframe. Instead of saying something negative to yourself, tell yourself something positive about what makes you different, because that truly is what's going to help you to stand out. And when you can play that up and use it as an asset, it will work for you, not against you. Now, my guest today is a wonderful woman who I have had the pleasure to never meet in person, but certainly to chat with over the phone and to get to know over the past few years. She is fabulous and very talented. Her name is Kailash Sozani, and Kailash comes to us today from Arizona. Kailash's gift is in empowering women to transform the way they look, think about, and feel about themselves. Her color essence experience and radiant body esteem programs bring out the inner and outer beauty in every woman so that she feels confident, authentic, and integrated, which helps her to create more success in her business and in her relationship to herself and others. As you can tell, Kailash and I have a lot in common. Clothing and style are a powerful form of self-expression and make it possible for every woman to shine her inner beauty and being to the world. Kailash's keen eye and intuition make over more than just a woman's wardrobe. With clarity and grace, she helps women entrepreneurs let go of worn-out beliefs and be the successful star of their life. Welcome, Kailash.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
I'm excited to have you here. Kailash, tell us a little bit about you and how you got started in all this.
Oh, gosh. It goes back, way back, and I'm going to be 70 in a couple months, so it was a lot of years ago.
You do not look it.
Thank you. From the time I was just a little girl, I always, before I could work with my hair myself, I would tell my mother how I wanted her to do my hair. And I would actually dress my mom, like when she was coming to school for an event, I would tell her what I wanted her to wear. And so clothing and hair and self-expression has always been at the forefront of me. And I became a hairdresser, had my own business, and people would come and I would create their hair. I would see something deeper inside than just what was on the outside. And so I would create their haircut in a way that really brought that to the forefront. And I just keep on doing it now in an even better and bigger way.
I think that's amazing. What is it that you see in people? How do you do that? And what is their reaction? Are they surprised? Are they overwhelmed? How do they feel when you do this?
Yes to all those. How I do it is, oh gosh, I don't know. it's something that I just call it a gift. And it's just somehow that I can see behind the real essence. That's why I call the color work that I do color essence, because I see the essence of the person, and they are so often hiding behind false ideas about themselves, and I help to bring that out in their hair, in their makeup, in their colors, and in their clothing, and in their being, so that they get a chance to experience who they really are and express that in all the facets of their lives.
Oh, I think that's amazing. I know with what I do, when you help women step into their own style, I like to say it helps women connect with who they are on the inside.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure you've seen that. Tell me a little bit about the color essence experience. Talk to us about that and how it sounds like that takes the hair and the essence, it takes it a step further. Tell me how that all ties in.
Well, I work with over 4,000 different color swatches, and so I create a palette that is totally unique to that individual person, and I'm looking for the color of their skin, their eyes, their hair, the textures, and the essence of who they are. So when I create the palette, all those things come into play, in the palette, and so. Not only do we talk about that in our 2 days together, because it's a 2-day retreat that they come for, but we delve into the different energies that are actually the different seasons. I use the seasons as a metaphor and a place to kind of start from, and each season has a different color and quality and energy. Oh my gosh, and shapes. There's so many different things. And what I've discovered is that people, women and men, fall into the different categories. But within the different categories, there are as many different types as there are human beings. So they learn, like a person who has a natural, very buoyant kind of energy, very happy and joyful kind of energy, might have been told when they were a child that they were making too much noise and they needed to settle down and be quiet and be ladylike and all these things. And so they got squashed. And so coming to work with me, we take away all those layers and those stories that are not really true, and they get to blossom in the beauty and the truth of who they are.
I love it. I love it. Can I ask you, I'd love to hear what you have to say. I mean, certainly one thing I do with my clients is we talk about color and talk about style and everything, but I think it's so amazing to talk with other stylists and hear their take on things. And I'd love to hear what you have to say about me and my coloring.
Oh my gosh.
I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I'd just love to hear your insight.
Well, you mean what you have on today?
Or whatever you want to say.
Yeah, because when I've seen, as you said, we've never met in person, but I've seen pictures of you. And I seem to remember a really wonderful, almost like a Kelly green that you had on one time. I don't remember even what it was, but it was this really vibrant green, and it was so beautiful on you because it really was an expression of your very vibrant energy. And I can't see exactly the color of your eyes, but are they a kind of a browny green color?
They're kind of a hazel. Hazel.
And so that probably brought out some of the colors of your eyes as well, and with your skin tone, it was just very very vibrant.
Huh. That's interesting that you say that, because honestly, I don't wear that much green. But since it's the color of 2013, I've been getting into wearing green more. I actually wear a lot of the color that you have on, the teal. I love that color.
Well, that could work for you as well. And when I say green, I have probably 600, 700, 800 different colors of green in my collection.
Goodness.
So whenever I talk about a color, I'm always talking about a shade of a huge variety of colors, that are in what we call green.
It's so interesting, and I'd love to hear your take on it. So many clients come and they sit down and they tell me, well, I can't wear green.
Right.
And I kind of look at people when they tell me they can't wear a certain color, like green or yellow, and I ask them, do you know how many shades of green or yellow there truly are?
Exactly. And that's it. And people will see that because, some people like myself, I can't wear yellow. Doesn't work for me. But I remember one time I saw someone and she had brown hair and these beautiful brown eyes, and she told me, I can't wear brown. And I thought, really? These are what I call your feathers. You've got brown hair and brown eyes. How can you not wear brown? But it has to be your shade of brown.
Right.
You just can't just say brown and be done with it.
Exactly.
Like your shade of brown is going to be very different than mine. My hair has quite a bit of red in it, and yours doesn't, from what I can see, doesn't have that much. And so the browns are going to be very different.
Yes. So your feathers, you refer to hair as feathers? I love it.
Well, I call the whole thing, I call our colors, I call them my paints, because my swatches I call my paints, but I call wearing your colors, wearing your own feathers, just like the birds. Huh. The birds have particular colors and of their feathers, and so do we.
I love it. Kailash, tell me about your aha moment. When you got into doing this, or when you first realized that you have a gift for helping women bring out their true essence, tell me about that experience and what led you to do what you're doing now.
Well, again, as I said, it started when I was very young, and I, dressed my mom, I dressed my girlfriends, I cut their hair. I can't believe that people actually let me do that when I was like 10 years old. And then when I had my hairdressing business, well, I always knew that I wanted to be a hairdresser, and I wanted to be a buyer for a clothing store. I knew that from the time I was very, very little. And so when I had my hairdressing business, people would also ask me to help them with their clothing and their makeup for special events like weddings, or if they were going to be on television or anything like that. So it wasn't even an aha moment. It was actually something that has been with me for just about as long as I can remember. And it's grown over time and been perfected and more deep. I mean, my work is much deeper now than it was 20 years ago, because being a coach as well, I really am able to bring out even more of a person's essence.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So you not only help them identify their style by looking at their outside, but you coach them from the inside out.
Exactly.
So it really is the entire package. That's great.
I always call it an inside job.
It is absolutely an inside job. How do you feel about all the messages that women are bombarded with today in this day and age?
It's just, in fact, one of the things that you'll see on my new website that I was mentioning to you before we started was I'm creating this new program that really works with unburdening ourselves from all these messages that we have gotten, not only about the way we look as women, but who we are as women. And the messages have come down through hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. And even though we have come up and come out, there's still very subtle ways that we are held down. And I'm all about, whether you be a man or a woman, just being your total, most beautiful, magnificent self and expressing that. And everybody see, somebody else is underplaying that for me.
I love it. I love it. No, I think that's wonderful. And I think honestly, I think it's amazing, and I hope you don't mind me saying this, but that you are almost 70. I think it's powerful that you are or close to being 70 and that you're sharing this message, because honestly, it's something that I feel like women deal with at every age.
They do.
With our daughters.
I truly believe that no matter what our age, no matter what our weight, no matter whether we have straight hair or curly hair or gray hair or brown hair, that we are all absolutely beautiful.
Yes.
And when we realize that light comes from the inside out, and then we can dress it to help enhance it as well.
Absolutely. I think that's powerful. And it's so amazing how, what you think, it starts up here, and what you think about yourself can affect everything. The way you carry yourself, the way you dress. In your experience, let me ask you about something real quick. The color black. in your experience, and I don't know if you've heard much about what I have to say about black. I talk about
No,
black.
I haven't, but I'll be curious.
Well, I talk a lot about black, and I get a little sassy when I do that because I find that so many women wear black because they don't know what else to wear.
Right.
What is your feeling about the color black? And I think especially since you look at the color essence, and black it's almost a draining color. You know, there's really not a whole lot of energy. And I know I'm wearing black today, so I'm not the best example. But you won't hurt my feelings.
Okay. I would ask you how you feel different when you have on black as opposed to when you have on, another color. But I went through what I call my black period. I was living in India, and I was traveling back and forth a lot to the West. And of course, it's just easy. Everything was black, and every once in a while, I'd get really excited and put something white on, But what I realized one day when I was there was that I was being suffocated by the color or the black of it. And my feeling about black is that that on some people it's absolutely fabulously beautiful. On the majority of people that are my client that have become my clients, it is not good at all. And like my husband, who looks just incredibly fabulous in black. But if you put black on me, I just sort of disappear. And so that whole story about every woman should have a little black dress and that black goes with everything and all the other stories we've heard, I totally don't buy into that, not even a little bit.
I completely agree with you. I totally agree. And in fact, somebody wanted me to write something recently and talk about something that could go with an item that all women have in their closets, like a little black suit. And the first thing I want to say is all women should not have a little black suit in their closet.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's one of the things, because of course the people that come to me, because that's what most people have in their closet is black, that's the first thing they say, oh, Kailash, I don't get any black. And I say, you could wear it if you want to, but I'm not putting it in your palette. And I'll put it up to them, and they'll see the difference between when they have black in front on them or they have a color that is in their feathers. And so I don't have to convince them. They see it themselves.
Right. And I think a lot of it is just knowing. People don't know and they don't realize there is an alternative.
Exactly. So that's what we get from the media.
Right.
Black, black, black.
Right. Black and negative attitudes.
Exactly.
Kailash, talk to me a little bit about your style. You obviously have a very unique, very romantic, from what I can tell in pictures I've seen of you, very romantic style. Talk to me about I talk so much about signature style. Talk to me a little bit about what you would call your signature style and what you feel most like yourself in.
Yeah, I think you kind of nailed it in romantic. If I could just wear clothes that were from the Italian Renaissance, I'd be just totally thrilled. I love, and my house is like that. My house is very kind of Louis XIV French and Italian. And my clothes, I try and bring that into into the modern world, but my clothes usually have some kind of a ruffle or some kind of movement, and it feels that's what feels the best to me. And so it's always a challenge, since it's not modern, to be able to still be modern and feel like myself. Because with the kind of body type I have, I could be dressing exactly in what's in right now, really tight pants and very fitted clothes, and that for my body type, that works great. And so I work with that to bring some kind of softness and romance into it as well.
I think that's great. Actually, that brings me to something else I'd love to hear your take on: dressing for your body type. Why do you think so many women don't dress for the body that they're in?
Well, I think, again, it's the same thing as you were saying about black. They just they have no sense, really, of who they are. And they just go to the stores and they just buy what's in the store and don't have any idea. I mean, I'm just kind of appalled sometimes, especially the younger girls, that are wearing these low-cut pants and and with their midriffs all exposed, and and they're all flabby and fat, and it looks just terrible. And they could look absolutely beautiful and still be fashionable without just being a victim of fashion. They could actually use fashion to their benefit.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I think it's great that you incorporate your style, you dress for your body type. I think so many women who get to their 60s and even 40s and 50s, they lose their sense of style. They've spent their entire lives taking care of everybody else, and they've kind of lost sense of who they are on the inside and lost sense of what looks good on them on the outside. What would be some tips that you could share for helping women dress in a way that's age appropriate?
Well, they could come and see me, or they could come and see you. That would be a totally perfect idea, because I think it's a little tough to do that. If you're kind of lost, it's really, really tough to do that on your own. You need a map, and you need someone to help you to see yourself in a different way than you're used to seeing yourself. Because, and so. I wish that I could give a better idea, but I really feel like anything else, that if a person can't do something for themselves, if they don't know how to do something for themselves, they have to search out a person who does.
Yes.
I always use the analogy is you don't fix your own car.
No, definitely not.
But one thing that I would say is to look in your closet and take out all the things that make you not feel really fabulous. Move them out of the closet, and only have things in your closet that you, even if you don't love them, that at least you like them.
Or like how they fit your body.
Right.
I tell my clients I want them to love what they have in their closet, but I tell them that love can be relative. You could love how it fits you, or you could love that it helps you make 3 new outfits.
That too.
So
exactly.
It doesn't have to be something that you pull off the hanger and say, hey, I love this one piece, but you may love how it works for you.
And also to make sure that when you put it on, you're not looking at yourself and telling yourself bad stories. And when you put it on, you say, oh, this is good. I like this. It's just perfect. It really enhances all my best parts, and kind of maybe camouflages the parts that maybe can be a little more camouflaged.
Absolutely. Kailash, let's talk. Let's get back to your your signature style, the romantic. I love what you said about the Italian Renaissance, and that's the way you decorate your home. How you do anything is how you do everything. And so, especially when it comes to your style, it's how you dress, it's your home, it's your car, it's the ringtone on your cell phone, it's everything. How do you feel like women can use their style to stand out?
Well, I think the quote that you said in the first place was just perfect. I don't remember the words exactly, but it was about being unique.
It's what, I'll tell you, I'll say it again, it's what makes you unique makes you beautiful.
Absolutely. What makes you unique makes you beautiful. And that is really the whole essence of what you do and what I do, is really bringing forth the uniqueness. I can't remember what you asked me, actually, but
how do you feel like people can, I talk a lot about what I like to say is how can people leverage their signature style? How can they use their style to stand out for the right reasons? What's your take on that? I know in your business you work with a lot of female entrepreneurs, and you work with them to help them brand themselves and really get started on who they are. And it's more than just their images, their website, and it's their colors, and it's everything. Talk to me a little bit about your philosophy around that.
Well, to me, that's where it starts. First, you have to know yourself. Then you have to dress that self. And again, with the work that people do with me, they find so much about the essence and the little particular qualities. And so when I help somebody with their website, I help them with the colors, because the different colors in their palette each have a both emotional and a psychological reason to be in a particular spot for them in particular. So that helps with knowing what colors to use for their site. And then any of the imagery on the site has to also kind of say what it is that they are about. Like this morning, I was coaching someone, and she was asking me about her site, and she thought that the site needed to be what her prospective clients were like. I said, no, the site has to be a projection of who you are, so that they are coming and they're gravitating towards you. And so then for a businesswoman, it goes into the kinds of words that they use, any kind of their marketing materials, everything that they do then is a reflection of the essence of who they are, so that their prospective clients are going to know who they're getting.
Yes. No, I think it's great that you said that she wanted to put up what she thought other people would connect with or thought other people would want to see. I think a lot of people dress that way. They dress in what I call your shoulds. And
in your shoulds.
Your shoulds. People wear what they think they should wear and not what they really want to wear. And in my humble opinion, it just squashes their energy and their enthusiasm. And they show up and they're just like, oh, I guess I should wear this dress, but they're not feeling it.
Totally. It's one of the things that people will say over and over and over again when they're with me for their 2 days is, oh, I finally have permission to be me.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah, it just touches my heart, because that's what it's all about.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a minute, because I found, and I think that's been my personal my biggest learning experience is that it's okay to be me. It's okay to be who I am. And I think that's why one reason I'm so passionate about helping clients is because I think people walk around thinking it's not okay. It's not okay to express myself in a way that's honest. It's not okay to say how I really feel. It's not okay to dress in the way that I really want to wear. Why do you think that is?
Oh, it's all that conditioning I was talking about before. It's just all of that conditioning because, and it comes down from generations and generations and generations. So we can't blame anybody because they got it as well. And it's just that, and so to me, when I think about if each person on this entire planet was actually living the truth of who they are from the inside out and the outside in, there would be no problems. We would not have any problems. Everybody would be doing their thing, and everybody would be happy.
It would be a whole different world.
Nobody would be frustrated.
Right. We would all be very fulfilled. We feel like we were expressing ourselves authentically, and it would be a whole different place.
When there's no frustration, there's no arguments. There's just kind of celebration, and not only is it okay to be ourselves, that's that's what we're here for.
Yes.
Absolutely. We're here to be our own particular fragrance that nobody else has. So special and fabulous.
Yes. It sounds to me like, your whole approach to style is almost from a very spiritual perspective. And
my whole approach to everything comes from there.
Okay. Talk to me a little bit about that. How do you think that comes in and infuses what you do and gives you your own special flavor of what you do? Do you call it image consulting? What do you?
I don't.
I don't like to use that term either. Yeah. I say it because people relate to it, but
they do. I never use that. I've not figured out what to call myself, actually. One of my clients called me Yoda.
How about the spiritual stylist?
That's okay. So how it's, yes, everything that I do is infused from a place of spirit. And I think from the time, again, this wasn't conscious when I was young, but as I look back now, I see that my whole, the thing that has always driven me is to be happy and to express myself. And oftentimes I got in trouble for that. but I just couldn't keep it down. And I was lucky enough to have a mother and father who kind of really liked who I was. So they didn't try and keep me down either, which was really great. And so that has been always something that has kept me moving forward and making decisions in my life, even though they might have looked odd from, the outside. It just kept me moving forward. Mm-hmm. And I've always encouraged people, long before I was a coach or anything, from the time I was, probably 12 or 14, for people to really express themselves in the way they dressed and who they were, and to be honest and to take chances. And I just keep on doing it. And now it's more of a conscious thing and an unconscious thing because it's just part of my being. Mm-hmm. I think that we're all here to do something in particular, and I think that's what I'm here to do, to kind of be a kind of like a light, like they have on the lighthouses, so that people can see that, oh yeah, Kailash is willing to do that. Maybe I can do it too.
I love it. Yeah. When you talk with your clients, you mentioned a few minutes ago that it's like you give them permission to be who they are. How does that change them? What does change? What do you notice changes?
Well, I've had many people change their names because the name didn't fit them. They never liked it, and they had the courage to find a name that really felt good to them. Oh. And they had the courage to stand up to their families who gave them a really hard time about it. I've had different clients get divorced, break up with boyfriends, sell their houses, so it changed their business. They just are so empowered by really just absorbing who they really are, that they just have this courage to go out and live it.
Wow, that's pretty profound. To change your name or to leave your marriage or to change your job, that's a pretty major change.
Isn't it cool?
That is very cool. I will say, I don't know that I've worked with a client who's actually changed her name. But I think
I've had 5 of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's very cool. But I think it just it goes to show that when you're in touch with your style and in touch with yourself, it goes deeper than just the clothes that you wear.
Oh my gosh, so much. I always say that the clothing and the color are just the door.
Yes.
And it's really just the door into yourself.
Absolutely.
And that's really what my work is about, is really opening the door to oneself.
So once you open that door, where do you lead your clients? Say your clients open the door and say, oh my gosh, they have an epiphany, they want to change their name, they want to leave their husband, they want to quit their job. How do you coach them? I mean, where do you take them from there?
Well, it depends on what the situation is and what they bring to me at that moment. We'll go. I have a particular process that's really marvelous that we can go through to get really clear on what their next step is and what's standing in their way, and so that they have the courage to do what it is that they really feel is the next step to do. And so they bring me different situations, and we coach through it, and it's different for each different person. Mm-hmm. But because they have already stepped through the door, they are already on their path, and so I'm there to support them in that, mm-hmm. and to hold the space for them to really be the magnificent person that they are.
I love it. That's beautiful. Well, I think it just, with what you do and what I do, I think you take it much further than what I do, but it goes to show that you're right. The style, the image, the clothing, that is just the packaging. But it really is the expression of how you feel on the inside about yourself.
But it really makes a difference, and you know that. You
Yes.
know that, Michelle.
Oh, absolutely.
Because somebody will I mean, I had a client here just a couple of weeks ago, and she said at the end of our time together, she said, I just feel like a woman. She said, and I didn't even know, wasn't even sure that I was a woman before.
Wow.
Yeah, it was just, I mean, it's just,
Pretty cool.
it's mind blowing.
It is. It is amazing. And it's just amazing. I mean, even with just the first steps, I know sometimes when people discover what colors to wear, I mean, even just that one step can liberate them. And then
Oh,
you keep
absolutely.
going deeper and deeper and deeper and really start getting into the inner stuff. It can be profound.
Well, and also, just allowing themselves to buy something really pretty and wear some nice jewelry and earrings and get out of big old frumpy sweatpants. That in itself is all about your self-esteem and self-worth.
It is. Absolutely. Absolutely. One question I get asked about a lot, and I've talked with other people about this before, but some people, in fact, I just got asked this yesterday when I was speaking at an event. Someone asked me, should I get dressed up to go out if I'm just going to Target or just going to the grocery store? I would love to hear what you have to say about that and why it's important.
Well, I get dressed every day. My hair, I mean, not that I do a lot with my hair, but my hair and my makeup is on every day, even if I'm not seeing anybody. And I sometimes ask myself, why are you doing this? You just have to take it off at night. It makes me feel complete. And to go into Target, yeah, I might not wear velvet. That might not be what I'm going to wear if I'm in the house and I'm just going to run over to the grocery store. But I'm always dressed nicely. I always have on my palette. I always have on my jewelry. And because it just makes me feel good. And it's interesting because, I think that there's a delicate balance in being kind of attached to having makeup and stuff on and being afraid for anybody to see you without it. So I think it's important that you still feel beautiful in your totally natural state. And I've gone through so many different parts of that in my life, makeup, no makeup, lots of makeup, a little bit of makeup, like that. And so I think that the secret is to feel comfortable no matter what, but to be, especially if you're a business person, to actually be what I would call presentable at all times. And just to check out, I really like to experiment and just see what it feels like, to the difference between having your hair and your makeup and something pretty on as opposed to not.
Yes. It makes
To be so frumpy, sweats or whatever.
Yeah.
And I mean, I remember I had a client one time, she was a coach, and she told me that she used to stay in her PJs all day and coach in her PJs, sometimes in bed.
Wow.
That, to me, is like not an energy that I would want to have on the other end of the phone when I was bringing her problems that I wanted coaching on.
Yeah, I think just taking the extra steps. It is about how you feel. I mean, I'm with you. I get up and every once in a while I won't put on makeup if I'm just kind of hanging around the house on a Saturday just to give my skin a break, and because I don't feel like it. But if I
Right.
decide I'm going to go to the grocery store, I won't let that hold me back. I just decide I want to take a break. But I think keep putting yourself together, it makes a difference in your self-esteem. Absolutely. And in how you feel about yourself.
I think so.
I would love to ask you this question. How do you feel about pantyhose? Totally off on a tangent, but it just, because you're in a different generation, would love to hear your take on that.
That's a funny question.
I get asked that a lot.
I hate them. I haven't worn pantyhose. I mean, I think I did buy a pair probably 15 years ago.
Oh my God.
And I think I ended up using them to put my skirts in that I like to twist, and when they were, after I washed them, and so that they're creases. No, I have worn. I just, oh my gosh, I don't know. Are they back in again?
Well, it's funny. I get asked that a lot, and Kate Middleton has brought them back in fashion.
Wow.
But I struggle with that. I mean, personally, I am probably never going to wear pantyhose. When I get to be, I don't know, 80, maybe, if I need to. But I do have some clients who they need to wear pantyhose, or they feel better wearing pantyhose. And so, what I tell them is, if you feel naked without pantyhose, go for it.
I would say the same thing, but I'm such a curious person. I would be asking them, what is it about the pantyhose that make you feel, whatever it is that you're feeling?
Uh-huh.
I'm curious because, they're uncomfortable.
They are uncomfortable. And I actually know somebody who feels naked if she doesn't wear her knee highs. And she wears her knee highs with her sneakers. And for me, I don't know. I can't imagine what that would feel like. But it's not anything I would ever try.
Well, and especially living here in Tucson where it's hot. The idea of wearing pantyhose, in the wintertime you could, but I like to be really comfortable in my clothes.
Yes.
And I like for my clients to be able to feel that way. I don't want my clothes to be wearing me.
Right. Absolutely.
I just want to get dressed and then I want to be done with it. Mm-hmm. And wearing pantyhose, I would always be aware that I had these things on that were constricting me.
Well, I think it's such an individual thing, and I just I like to tell people, if you love pantyhose and really feel put together, you're not confident about your legs, go for it. But I'm probably never going to say, hey, you should wear pantyhose.
Yeah, either way. It's really up to each person. And it depends on, like, I had some clients that work in an investment firm, and they actually are required to wear pantyhose.
Uh-huh. That's a whole different story.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I would rebel if I was there, but anyway.
Somehow I cannot see you working a desk job.
Yes.
No, me neither.
It all works out just fine.
No, yeah, definitely. Kailash, as a stylist and style expert, I'm sure you have a ton of secrets and tips. What tips would you like to share with us today for looking our best, or stepping into our style, or just some of your favorite places to shop?
Well, depending on who you are, that when I take my clients shopping, it really depends on, because each store has a kind of a particular kind of vibe and, the kind of clothes that they carry. So depending on who my client is, that's how I choose the store or stores that I take them to. Some secrets. Well, again, I was just saying comfort is something really important to me, that you have to feel comfortable in your clothes. And not only comfortable physically, like I like soft things, but comfortable that you're not wearing a costume.
Yes.
And that costume that can be anything. It can be a black suit, it could be a costume.
Right. Yeah, that kind of goes back to talking about your shoulds.
Right.
And what you should wear, and wearing things for the right reasons. What are some of your favorite places to shop?
Well, I have a new favorite place, and it's local, and it's called Limited Editions, and the woman who owns it is a weaver, and she has just incredibly creative, beautiful clothing, very unique in her store. So I've been really having fun taking my clients there. And depending, I love going to Anthropologie. They have lots of, great stuff. Except for pants. Their pants are really made for very skinny people. And since my clients tend to be, 50 and above, they don't have, the skinny legs and hips of a 20-year-old. So we buy tops there and jackets and things like that. And sometimes J. Jill, I found some nice things at J. Jill. They can, when my clients are here, I try and get them. My intention is to get them kind of like the basics of their new wardrobe, and so that they have some different kinds of things, and then we mix and match, and I put lots of different outfits together. But then they can go and then fill in and make some more outfits out of what we've purchased. So J. Jill is one place. Sometimes it's great, sometimes not. And I'm trying to think of any place else. Sometimes I go to Ann Taylor. Again, it depends on who the person is.
What's one thing you would recommend that all women have in their wardrobes?
One thing.
Or one thing you recommend no woman to have in her wardrobe?
Oh, oh. This is going to be, I'm going to get a thumbs down on this one. Sweats. If they're made out of velour and they're a beautiful color and they fit lovely, different story. But those things, that are made like track things, real thick and like old-fashioned sweatshirts. Oh, golly, that doesn't make a person feel beautiful.
No.
So, and they come in awful colors anyway. So, so the other thing let's go to the positive. I would say definitely a pair of earrings and a necklace that makes them feel just really fantastic. And they can wear with many different other outfits, so they can put that with different things and make different outfits just by putting on that necklace and their jewelry and their earrings.
Absolutely. Actually, I'm wearing a necklace and earrings. I wore these when I got married, so these are some of my favorites.
I was noticing that. Yeah, the earrings I have on, I wear them a lot. One of my best girlfriends gave them to me for my birthday. I don't know, maybe 5 years ago, and they're just perfect for me. I love them.
They're great.
They've got all the movement like my hair. They're kind of old-fashioned, and I don't know. They're great. They're my eye color.
Yeah. Oh, and that makes a huge difference. That's one thing I definitely tell my clients to wear is something in their eye color.
Yeah.
How do you feel? What's your take on accessories? What, aside from a necklace and a great pair of earrings, what accessories do you like to recommend to clients?
Well, I love scarves. I'm a scarves and shawl person. I love wearing scarves. It's such a great, and it depends again on the person. I mean, my scarves tend to be kind of big and have fringe at the bottom, and I throw them around my neck, but some of my clients that are a little more sporty, just to have some kind of a fun little silk scarf with a fun print that they can just tie, kind of jaunty. So I love scarves.
Me too.
I think they're just a fabulous accessory. I have a drawer full. In fact, my drawer is kind of overflowing at this moment with scarves.
Yeah, scarves are such a huge accessory this spring. And actually, I'll throw out, if anybody's interested in seeing a video on how to tie scarves, if you go to my website, onechicmama.com, and go to the blog, I do have a video called How to Wear a Scarf. I know people are always asking me how to tie scarves, so...
That's always fun because there's always some little new trick. So I love learning new tricks because most people don't know what to do. Even to put a shawl around, they say, I don't know ever what to do with it.
Right. And I think a big part of wearing something like that for you, I can absolutely see that's part of your signature style. But I think a lot of what comes with that is confidence.
Yes.
And feeling like it's really you, because I think a lot of people wear things and they're concerned, is it me, is it not me? And I tell people, if you put something on if it did not feel like you, then don't wear it.
Exactly. And to add to that, oftentimes, in fact, most times, when I'm in the dressing room with someone, it's so different than what they've been used to wearing that they feel kind of like, oh my. But they say yes. And then when there's something that they really don't like, I'll say, just leave it here. Just leave it. Don't take it. But if there's any kind of question, I say, you know what? This is all new. Just take it home with you. Feel it. Even like tomorrow, we're going to be together. And if you don't like it, return it. I'd rather have them have it and kind of get, into it a little bit, because it's all very new. And it's a new way of thinking about themselves.
Definitely. I'd love to hear your take on a woman's wardrobe and your philosophy. Do you find that women have too many clothes, or what's your whole take on how many clothes a woman should have in her closet?
Well, I couldn't give a number, but I think that there are some women. Oh my gosh! I went one time to do somebody's closet, and I was there 6 hours, and I never got finished.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, it was astonishing. I think that probably most women don't do a decluttering of their closet often enough. And I think that it's really good, like every 6 months or so, to go through your closet. And yeah, it's a perfect time, like when the seasons change, and see what really is still making you happy, what still fits nicely, what is not too worn out, and have a little closet liberation. So that there's not just old things hanging there taking up space. It's nice to refresh.
I like that. Closet liberation. That's good. Liberate your closet and liberate your style.
Yeah, who does?
No, I said liberate your closet and liberate your style.
Exactly. And the other thing that I like, that I always mention to my clients is, first thing, to have hangers that are all the same.
Yes. That's a huge
and
thing.
Have them hanging in the same direction. And also with their palette, they can put their clothes, they can hang their clothes in the same way that their palette goes.
Well, that's a great idea.
Yeah, so when they look in their closet, it's all their palette, and they can, choose like that.
So tell me a little bit about your ideal client. When you work with a woman, you said typically your clients are 50 and up. Who is an example of your ideal client? And I don't mean name names, but give us a description.
Yeah. And some of my clients are like 45, but they tend to be a little older than that. Because anyway, so my ideal client is over 40, is a woman entrepreneur, who, many of my clients have come out of corporate, and they were wearing that corporate uniform, and they just absolutely have no clue of what else to do besides their navy and black suits. And they really are at a point where they are ready to let go of all the old stories that they've been that have been running them, and the shoulds, as you say, and really are kind of yearning to know who they are and have that be expressed in their business and their lives. And they know that the way they appear is going to be a huge starting point. And the thing that happens actually is that they all tell me at the end of our 2 days together that it was so much more than they expected. So much more happened for them than just changing the way they look.
Why do you think that is? Because once you start looking at the clothing, you start going deeper and new things are revealed. Why do you think that happens?
I think that because I spend quite a bit of time, especially at the beginning and then throughout our time together, but we spend usually at least 45 minutes or an hour just sitting and talking. I ask a lot of questions, and they feel comfortable enough and safe enough that many things just kind of come pouring out, along with some tears often.
It can be an emotional process.
I always figured that's a good sign. And I think that they have the time to really kind of grow into this new way of thinking and feeling and looking with themselves, and that there's a trust in the process.
Yes, definitely. It is about trust, and I think you're just such a shining example of what you do.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, Kailash, I want to thank you so much for being here today and ask you, is there any one last tip or one last piece of information you'd like to leave us with?
Well, there's a couple things I wanted to say. One is that I wanted to offer, first, to invite the people who are here with us today to go to my website and sign up for, I have a little 5-video series. They're just short videos that are very informative and fun. And so if you go to kailashsozani.com, and I'll spell that, KAILASHSOZZANI.com. And then also I wanted to offer just a complimentary quiz that's kind of fun to look at and see where it is that you are within yourself and what you might want to transform. And so if you go to my website, theKailashSozani.com/P PHP, and you'll come up with the Color Essence quiz. And if you would like to, find out more for yourself personally, you can always send me an email and we can have a complimentary discovery call. So that being said, the thing I'd like to leave you with, I think, is, it's a little bit of what I said about the closet, about going into your closet and taking a look at the things that really make you feel good, both the color and the way it fits your body, and put those in your closet and take the other things out.
Yes. I totally agree with that.
And really love yourself.
Yes, absolutely. I think that's key. I really think that's learning to love yourself. And I think sometimes we have so much exterior stuff we've got to get through first.
Yeah.
To get to that. So, Kailash, thank you so much for being here. It has been my pleasure to talk with you, and I hope to one day get to meet you in person.
I hope that happens. We've been having a good time over the last few years this way.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for having me here, Michelle.
Thank you, Kailash. You have a great evening. Take care.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. Well, I hope you all enjoyed that conversation with Kailash. She is fabulous, and just to think that she's almost 70 just blows me away. She is talented and full of expertise. So go check out her website at kailashsozani.com, and I'm actually going to have to go take that Color Essence quiz myself and see how that comes up. So go check that out and see what you think. But next week, I want you to plan to be here with me, 4 p.m. Wednesday, for another edition of One Chic Mama TV, where I want to help you dress like you mean it. This is Mary Michelle of One Chic Mama TV signing off.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. Our weekly lineup of call-in programs includes Computers 2K Now with Amnon Nissan, Sundays 9 a.m. till noon. Carrie's Psychic Cafe with Carrie Silkowski, Sundays 8 till 9 p.m. Health In with Debbie Bruck, Mondays 11 a.m. till noon. Breaking Free with Marilyn Shannon, Mondays 8 till 9 p.m. One Chic Mama with Mary Michelle, Wednesdays 4 till 5 p.m. Reawaken Your Brilliance with Julie Seibert, Wednesdays 9 till 10 p.m. And if you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it at www.nissancommunications.com. Sponsored by ThatVidBlasterGuy.com, CarolinaApparel.com, and DeltaForce.net.